Project title is about mental health prediction using machine learning. The project structure is data, Flask, and notebooks. The data set is given. In Flask, the templates, Python app file, and model file is given. And then in notebooks, the Jupyter Notebook IP1B file is there. In that, first we have to import some Python packages called pandas, numpy, matplotlib, and seaborn. And then we have to load the dataset by using read CSV function. To observe the first 5 rows of our data, we use hit function method, and to observe the last 5 rows of our data, we use the tail function method. The shape attribute, we can use the shape attribute of the data frame to know the shape of our dataset. The shape of our dataset is 1259,27. From the above figure, we can say that our dataset has 1259 rows and 27 columns. Next, we will have to see the information pertaining to each of the 27 columns. For that, we will be using info function. Now we have to pre-process the data to remove unnecessary columns and handling null values and dealing with wrongly entered data. First, removing unnecessary columns. The below picture shows the distribution of countries. Since the countries are not evenly distributed, keeping this column will induce bias in our model. So we will be removing country and state columns. We will also remove timestamp and comments columns as they do not contribute to provide relevant information. Handling null values and dealing with wrongly entered data. After to remove the country, state, timestamp and comments, we use data.drop function. To check the null values, isNull function is used along with the sum function to data frame. We observe that two columns, self-employed and work interfere, contain null values. Let us fill the self-employed column with no and work interfere column with NA and place of null values. In order to do this, we will make the use of fillNA function. Now our data set is free of null values. Let us now handle the data that might have been entered wrongly. Consider the age column of our data set. If we observe that the age column, it is seen that some impractical values would have been entered. So let us remove the rows with ages greater than 60 and less than 18 using the code below. Let's consider the gender column of our data set. It is observed that the different names are used for the same category of gender. Let us group them into three major categories: male, female, or non-binary using the replace function. Now data analysis and visualization. Let us understand the data properly with the help of some visualization techniques and some analyzing techniques. First step is univariate analysis. Seaborn package provides a function called thisPlot which helps us to find the distribution of specific features in our dataset. Let us observe the distribution of age. And then bivariate analysis. We use bivariate analysis to find the relation between two features. Here we are visualizing the relationship of various features with respect to treatment, which is our target variable. Employment type and treatment. We observe that though There is a vast difference between people who are self-employed or not. The number of people who seek treatment in both categories is more or less similar. Family and history treatment. We observe that treatment is directly proportional to family history, hence this is an important factor. Work interfere and treatment. We observe that the people who choose sometimes were the largest who wanted to get treatment. This group of people are the ones who are reluctant to choose either of the extreme categories. Work type and treatment. We observe that number of people who seek treatment in both the categories is more or less similar and it does not affect our target variable. Company and treatment. We can conclude that irrespective of the field of company, falls in mental health is a big issue. Benefits and treatment. We see that the large group among the people who wanted mental health benefits wanted to seek treatment, and also a significant number of people who said no to wanted to seek treatment. Care options and treatment. This graph is quite similar to benefits column. Mental versus physical health. We observe that half of the people are not aware of the people importance given to mental health as compared to physical health, whereas almost equal parts of other values answered yes and no. Wellness program and treatment. We observe that most of people who said no wants to seek treatment, which means their company has to take steps in arranging for the same. Anonymity and treatment. We observe that most people either answer yes or they are aware of if anonymity will be protected. Leave and treatment. We see that around half of the people don't know how easy it is get to leave due to mental health condition, and they are one who wants to seek treatment the most. Mental health consequence and treatment. We observe that the majority answered either no or maybe, but around one third of the people answered yes and they want to seek treatment. Physical health consequence and treatment. As completely opposed to the above results, a very small number of people answered yes to these questions, which means the major number of people do not face negative consequences by discussing their physical health conditions with their employees. Discussion with co-workers and treatment. We can observe that more than half of the people were willing to discuss their mental health problems with some or all their co-workers. Discussion with supervisor and treatment. This graph contain is in contrast to the above one. Though majority of people are comfortable with discussing their physical health problems with their supervisor, about one third of them are uncomfortable with it. Mental health discussion during interview and treatment. We observe that very few people are comfortable in bringing up their mental health issue in front of potential employer. Physical health discussion during interview and treatment. Though this graph is similar to the above one with respect to not being comfortable in bringing up a physical health issue with a potential employer, a good number of people may be willing to or are willing to bring it up. The consequence after disclosure and treatment. We observe that the majority of people have not faced any negative consequences after discussing their mental health conditions in their workspace. Now, descriptive analysis. It is used to study the basic statistical features of data. We can achieve it using the describe function, which describes the function. We can understand the unique top and frequent values of category values. Handling categorical values. There are multiple encoding techniques to convert the categorical columns into numerical columns. For this project, we'll be using ordinal encoding for our features and label encoding for our target. So for that we must need to divide our data into futures and target. Here X contains our futures and Y contains our target. The next step is to apply respective coding techniques on futures and target to apply ordinal encoding on our future. We will be using column transformer. We need to save the column transformer instance so that we can use it during our model deployment. After executing the above lines, CT will be saved in a file known as future values. And then splitting data into train and test. For splitting the data into train and test sets, we are using the train test split function from sklearn. As parameters, we are passing x, y, test size, random state. Comparing accuracy of various models. We'll be considering multiple models to train our data and choose the one that performs the best. So we need to import the necessary libraries and create a dictionary of our models. Next, we will define a function known as model test that accepts its parameters x train, x test, y test, model name. We will obtain ypred by using pred function and compute the accuracy of score by iterating through the dictionary. From the above results, it is clear that AdaBoost classifier provides the best accuracy. So let us create a different variable to fit and make predictions using the model. Now it is shown that the accuracy of AdaBoost is 0.5333 going on 4. Now hyperparameter tuning of selected model. To further improve the model performance, we are going to carry out a process known as hyperparameter tuning. Every model will have multiple hyperparameters. Please find the hyperparameters for AdaBoost classifier from the below link. For a hyperparameter tuning, we can either use grid search CV or randomized search CV. Randomized search CV is more fast and efficient and preferred, so we will be using it in our project. From n estimators, we are taking 15 equally spaced values from 1 to 50, and for learning rate, we are taking various values close to 1. There is various parameters to be passed in randomized search CV to know that each parameter signifies. Next, let us fit our data and check what are the best hyperparameters using best params attribute. So our model will perform the best n estimators are equal to 11 and learning rate is equal to 1.02. Let us add these values to train our model, make predictions and check accuracy. We observe that accuracy has increased approximately by 0.5%, though this is not a very great improvement. It's at least better than our previous model. Evaluating performance of models. We will compare the confusion matrix, ROC curve and classification report for both models. In order to obtain this, we will be using confusion matrix function, ROC curve function and classification report function from sklearn matrix. Confusion matrix. And then ROC curve. And then classification report. Now we have to save the model. The final step is saving our model. We can do it by using pickle.dump function. Now let's run our Python file by using Python. After running, the ID will be generated. Enter the ID of project, enter a prediction page will be there. Give proceed and provide the inputs. After providing the inputs, press predict button and then the output will be shown.